Waldorf curriculum is designed so that the expected age group for each level will receive the apt content, structure, and age-appropriate approach to learning. The activities and strategies of teaching carefully, closely address and integrate the age of the child. This means that the content being prepared for each level is for a specified age group. This is why one factor that we consider in assessing children is their age. In Waldorf education, we see that the best way to deliver a healthy curriculum is by ensuring that the content and structure of the lesson truly addresses their developmental and holistic needs. By giving age-appropriate content and by delivering lessons based on what the children need at a particular developmental phase, Balay Sofia curriculum addresses the holistic needs of the students. Activities in the class are designed to give them the cognitive content they need. Their emotional and social needs are addressed with consciousness, as well as the child's overall physical health. This is why lessons in Waldorf schools are filled with movements, activities, and the arts. Healthy habits are practiced in school for good nutrition, proper rhythm, the healthy balance of academic work and breaks, and healthy lifestyle is encouraged to be practiced and continued at home. Lessons are introduced through stories, songs, movement exercises, hands-on activities, and other apt and age-appropriate experiences that will enable the student to gain the necessary foundations for more intellectual concepts and insights later on. The goal of Waldorf education is to educate the whole being of the child so that they grow up to be free in their thinking, for them to build a strong capacity so they can express who they are in a healthy manner. We, together with the parents, help them build capacities to become a healthy member of society and enable to strengthen their will so they will be able to put into actions their ideas, dreams, and passions. In active partnership with the family of the student, we build a community where they can experience and see adults around them working together. The teachers actively coordinate and communicate with the parents and guardians of their students in relation to the learning needs of the child. The parents are expected to work with the teacher to bring this holistic education to the children. In turn, it's our hope that through this approach and collective effort, children and their families will have a healthy school community. Here are the recommended subjects in each grade level in a Steiner Waldorf school. In consideration of the individual and local needs of the children in a class, Balay Sofia teachers prepare for each of these recommended subjects so that the children will receive meaningful and practical lessons based on the students' cognitive, socio-emotional, and developmental needs. How do we teach in Balay Sofia the Waldorf way? First, we ensure that the universal developmental needs of the children in a class are being addressed. Children in each level have different academic needs, competencies that they need to have and hone. Each level has also different social emotional needs, as well as psychomotor or will development needs. For example, an 8-year-old child can already be introduced to basic arithmetic. This is the child's academic or math needs at such age. But a child at this age may find it quite difficult to understand fractions, which a 10 or 11-year-old can easily learn without much difficulty because of his or her natural readiness or maturity for such lesson content. In the same way, it may be possible to introduce algebra to an 8-year-old child, but unless the child is a genius, the practicality, meaningfulness, and wondrous quality of this higher form of math lessons will not be appreciated by the child. They can be memorized, but real, deeper connection to the lesson may be compromised. We can imagine that this may also result to boredom or lack of motivation for the subject matter later on, once this has been encountered again by the child in higher grade levels or in high school. Hurried children only suffer from being given lessons that are not yet for them. In our own Filipino language, we call this hinog sa pilit, or a natural ripeness. If lessons are introduced at the right time, children will develop better foundations of learning because they will truly grasp the lesson not by force or stress, but by natural yearning. If learning is natural, the experience of the child is more alive. This means that the emotional development of the child is also nourished and strengthened. Another important element of Waldorf teaching is how good, sturdy, and healthy foundations are laid out first to ensure that everything else that the child will learn later in higher grade level or in life will have a good vessel, a good container. All academic foundations start with deepened experiences of essential concepts. Concrete and hands-on experiences are provided in the lower years. This is why, in the lower grade school, lessons can be perceived to be slower. Instead of going right away to reading words, for example, in grade 1, each letter is introduced through stories that will make this letter come more alive, or making the abstract symbols or the letters closer to how children at age 6.5 to 7 understand the world around them. Sounds of the letters have stories attached to the form of the letters. In this way, children will remember each of the letter and their sounds more than just by dry memorization. By grade 2 or 3, because of this quality of the child's relationship with letters and words, the natural eagerness to read and understand longer text will be alive. Based on my own experience as a teacher, some, if not most, children in Waldorf grade 3 or 4 have finished reading 2 to 3 books because of the connection they have built with letters in their younger years. Their initial reading experience was an enjoyable, happy one. And therefore, later on, once they have become grade 5 or 6, reading is becoming a natural enricher of learning for them. Reading will not become a chore, but an interesting, exciting activity for them. Language arts are taught by also building up from what they are taught in kindergarten, grade 1, 2, and up. The rich stories, fun verses, and songs are all regular part of their day starting in kindergarten. Through these fun activities, they learn how to interact with their classmates while learning new words, stories of their people, and other cultures. As their interest in their own language and other languages grow. Later on, in upper grades, stories will turn into recalling of real events in history. And because they develop connection to stories, history is much more appreciated as a field. Sciences start with the nature walks and nature observation in kindergarten, grade 1, 2, and 3, as they freely explore their environment through outdoor play. They learn about the nature not by looking at books, but by actually immersing themselves in nature, by touching the soil when they are gardening, by allowing them to climb the trees. By grade 4, they will become more ready to understand and see that things in nature have certain pattern or qualities. Animal block or zoology is introduced. In grade 5, botany is studied. Then physics, geology, mineralogy in grade 6. Similarly, children learn science through the simple activities given to them in class and at home. Baking, for example, is a combination of many fields of studies. Measuring, putting together, counting, and dividing can be observed when one bakes. Putting a cup of flour, half teaspoon of yeast, and so on will give them concrete idea of what fraction is later on. Mixing the ingredients together and making a dough is an initial experience of science or chemistry. At the same time, smelling the dough while it is being kneaded and baked in the oven will give them good sensory experience. Baking with classmates will make the activity even more fun for added social emotional benefits. Painting can be seen the same way. It is not simply an art. It gives us the science of colors, and later on, this will be connected to physics of colors and light, optics. Each subject or activity in the class can be seen this way. It is a way to build up good foundation, good experience of learning. Giving age-appropriate content is also as important so that real connection and motivation for the child at certain age can be facilitated. By combining these principles, lessons are consciously designed and provided for the children.